Magic Treehouse 17th. Tonight on the Titanic. 니꺼 하세요. 제발. 각자 거에 성실히 하자. 내가 도와줄 수 있는 것만 도와주자. 쓰는 건 네가 하는 거다. Prologue. One day in Polk Creek, Pennsylvania, a mysterious treehouse appeared in the wood. 7-year-old Jack and his 8-year-old Jack and his 7-year-old sister Annie climbed into the treehouse. They found that it was filled with books. Jack and Annie soon discovered that the treehouse was magic. It could take them to the place in the books. All they had to do was point to a picture and wish to go there. Along the way, they discovered that the treehouse belonged to Morgan Le Fay. Morgan is a magical librarian from the time of Looking Other. She traveled through time and space gathering books. In Magic Treehouse books from 5 to 8, Jack and Annie had to free Morgan from a spell. And books from 9 to 12, they served for ancient Rydell and became master librarian. In Magic Treehouse books from 13 to 16, Jack and Annie had to save for ancient story from being lost to forever. Now, in book 17, they are about to begin a new set of adventure. Chapter 1. A new mission. Jack opened his eyes. It was a stormy night. The rain tapped hard on his window pane. "Do you hear what the rain is saying?" said a voice. Jack turned on his lamp and stood in his doorway. She wore her rain poncho. She wore her rain poncho over her pajama and held a flashlight. "It's saying, come now," she said. "You're not," said Jack. "Listen, just listen," said Annie. Jack listened. The rain did seem to be tapping out. "Come now, come now." "We have to go to the treehouse," said Annie. "Something important is about to happen." "Now?" said Jack. Jack didn't want to leave his warm, cozy room, but he had a feeling and Annie was right. Something important was about to happen. "You coming?" she said. Yeah, he said. He climbed out of bed. "Just put on your rain poncho. Just put on your rain poncho," said Annie. Jack threw his rain poncho over his pajama. He put on his sneakers and grabbed his backpack. "Don't forget your master librarian card," said Annie. "I have mine with me." Jack put the card with the growing letter ML on it into his backpack. "I'm ready," he said. Jack and Annie went quickly down the stair. Then they slipped out the door into the chilly, damp night. The storm had eased eased up. Rain fell gently as they ran up the street. The wet ground glistened, 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 glistened in the beam of the flashlight. They headed into the Procry Wood. Wind blew through the tree, shaking water to the ground. Jack shivered. He wiped a raindrop off his glasses. Brrr, said Annie. I'm cold. Me too, said Jack, as they kept walking, and he pointed the flashlight up into the tree. There it is, she said. Her right had found the treehouse. Morgan! Jack called. There was no, there was no answer. I wonder what's wrong, said Annie. I was sure she'd be here. Let's go, said Jack. And he grabbed the rough leather and started climbing. Jack followed. Raindrop dripped from the trees onto his poncho. They climbed into the treehouse, and he shined her light into each corner. The first three corners were empty. Then the flashlight beam hit the poles. Jack and Annie gasped with surprise. Sitting in the corner was a small dog. He looked like terrified. Terrified. He had a scruffy right front fur. He stared sadly at Jack and Annie. Oh, whispered Annie. When did you come from? Said Jack, and he patted the dog's head. He wagged his tail. He's so cute, she said. He looks like a little teddy bear. Hi, Teddy. Teddy was actually a good name for him, Jack thought. Where did you come from, Teddy? He asked. The little dog whimpered. Don't be sad, said Annie. Everything is okay. How did he get up here? Jack asked. I don't know, but I bet Morgan had something to do with it, said Annie. Jack gazed terror on a piece of paper lying on the floor. I think you are right, he said. He picked up the paper, and it was fancy writing that said, this little dog is under spell and needs your help. To free him, you must be given four special things. A gift of a gift from a ship roasted at sea, a gift from the Fre- Frey Prairie Blue, Prairie Blue, a gift from a forest far away, a gift from a kangaroo. Be wise, be brave, be careful, Morgan. P.S. Your master librarian card want to have on this mission. Just be yourself and all will be well. What kind of spell do you think Teddy is under? Said Annie. Who knows? Said Jack. Poor thing, said Annie. He pet he pet he patted the dog's head. He licked her hand. It looks like we have to take for a trip, said Jack. Teddy trotted over to a book. He pushed the air with his nose. Look, said Annie. I bet they will take us on the first trip. She picked up the book that the little dog had chosen. Good job, Teddy, she said. The title of the book was The Unsinkable Ship. Well, understood, that's good, said Jack. The ship won't sink, even if it is lost. Ready? Ready, Teddy? Asked Annie. Woof, woof, he answered. Jack pointed at the cover of the book. I wish we could go there, he said. The wind started to blow. The treehouse started to spin. It spun faster and faster. Then everything was still, absolutely still. Chapter 2. The Unsinkable Ship. Oof! Oof! Jack opened his eyes. He shivered. Where, wherever they were now, it was cold, very cold. Teddy barked again. Shh, said Jack, and he shined the flashlight on her clothes. Wow, we are dressed like old-fashioned kids, she said. Instead of pajama and a poncho, she wore a sailor dress and a long wool cloak. Jack had on an overcoat and knee-length pants with the long socks. His backpack had turned to leather. He also had on a short shirt and tie. Where are we? He wandered around. Jack and Annie looked out the window. The moonless sky glittered with stars. There was a soft wind and the sound of water lapping. The treehouse seemed to be resting on a wooden deck between two giant clumps. Jack looked up and saw smoke coming out of the clump. We must have landed on the ship between the smoke stack, he said. Then Jack looked straight ahead and saw a box high in the air near the front of the ship. That must be the lookout's nest, he said. Jack sat back in the treehouse and opened their book and handed him the flashlight. Let's find out where we are, he said. He turned to a picture of a huge ocean liner. By the right of the flashlight, he read, late at night on April 14, 1912. One English ocean liner was making her first voyage across the Atlantic Ocean. She was going to New York City, carrying 2,200 passengers. The ship was 4 city block long. Most people believed the ship was unsinkable. Oh man, we are in 1912, said Jack. He pulled out his notebook and wrote, April 14, 1912. This ship is huge, said Annie. How will we ever find the gift to her free Teddy? You can't go you can't go looking for a gift, said Jack. We have to wait until someone gives it to you. All right, said Annie with a sigh. Well, I guess we just have to be ourselves, like Morgan said. And maybe we will get lucky. This is hard, said Jack. The little dog went. Don't worry, Teddy, said Annie. We'll free you from your spell. Just then, a shout, a shout came from the lookout's nest. Iceberg ahead! Jack and Annie turned back to the window just in time to see a huge iceberg looming out of the sea. The iceberg was dark with a frizzy of white at the top, and it was right in front of the ship. Jack felt a jolt. Then he heard a gliding, heard a gliding sound. The ship was scraping against the mountain of ice. Oof! Oof! Teddy barked. Shh! Don't be scared, said Annie. She picked the dog up and hugged him. The scraping sound stopped. The ship slid past the iceberg until they rose to sight of it. The night was calm again. See? Annie, Annie said to Teddy. It was just a little bump. This ship is unsinkable. But Jack was worried. Wait, I have to read more about this, he said. Don't read now, Jack. Don't read now, Jack, said Annie. It's time to get the gift. Come on, Teddy. She picked up the little dog and the fresh writing, and she climbed out the treehouse window. Hey, don't take the fresh writing, said Jack. But Annie was gone. Annie! called Jack. He heard a soft eek. Annie stuck her head back in the treehouse. I think you'd better see this. Jack threw his stuff into his knapsack. He put it on and climbed out the window, and he was standing by the ship's railing, holding Teddy. Without a word, she shined the flashlight on the ripe preserver hanging from the railing. In big black letter where the words RMS. Titanic. Chapter 3. SOS. Jack stared at the name of the ship. You know what happened to the Titanic, don't you? He said softly, and he nodded. It hit an iceberg and sank, she said. But I don't get it. I thought this ship was unsinkable. That's what people thought too when the Titanic was built, she said Jack. But they were wrong. Suddenly, steam gushed out of the ship's smokestack. Then the engine cut off. The Titanic stopped moving. "We'd better go home," said Jack. "There's nothing we can do here. We will have to find another road to ship, a safer one." "No, we have to stay and help," said Annie. "We can escape in the treehouse any time we want." "But what can we do?" said Jack. "This ship's going to sink no matter what. We can't change history, and we can't take anyone into our time with us." "Yeah, but maybe there's some way we can help. Some way we can help," said Annie. "How?" "I don't know," said Annie. "Let's look around." Holding Teddy, she disappeared down a small stairway. They followed her to a lower level. Annie put Teddy down on the deck. The dog sniffed to chunk of ice that had fallen off the, the iceberg. The ship seemed strangely empty. "Where is everyone?" Annie asked. "Maybe they are still asleep," said Jack. "They probably don't even know the ship hit something." Annie and Jack started toward the front of the Titanic. "Come on, Teddy," said Annie. The little dog scrambled after them. They passed the round window of the different room on the ship. Jack looked through them as they went by. He saw exercise bike and rolling machine in one room. In another, there were palm tree, bamboo, chair, and table. Next, they passed a library filled with books. "This ship is like a town," said Jack. Near the end of the deck, they peeked through another round window. Inside a little room, a man was wearing ear, earphone. earphone. Jack heard a clicking noise as the man tapped a lever on a black box. "What's he doing?" whispered Annie. Jack shrugged. Another man stood nearby. He had a white beard and wore a fancy uniform. "Send the international call for us," he ordered the man with the headphone. "Tell all ship close by to come at once. We are sinking." "Yes, Captain," said the man. "Great. You are calling for help." "Great. They are calling for help." And he whispered. Jack shook his head. "I don't think help will come," he said. He shined the flashlight on the book and found a picture of the radio operator. He said quietly. He said quietly to Annie. After the Titanic hit the iceberg at 11:40 p.m., the ship's radio operator sent out an SOS. An SOS is international distress signal. in Morse code. Unfortunately, the only ship near the Titanic had turned off its radio for the night. All the other ships who received the message were too far away to help when the Titanic sank around 2:20 a.m. She was all alone. That's terrible, said Annie. I wonder what time it is now, said Jack. I don't know. Jack pulled out his notebook and wrote, SOS sent out Titanic sink at 2:20 a.m. He's raving, whispered Annie. Hide, whispered Jack. He and Annie moved quickly into the shadow. The captain stepped out on the deck, told the men to start loading the rifle now. The captain ordered a deckhand. Yes, captain, the man, the man answered. The captain and the deckhand direct, and he turned to Jack. Ernest, that's good. She whispered, everyone can get into the right boat. I don't think it's good enough, said Jack. He read from the book again. On the Titanic, there were 20 lifeboats to save all the passengers. The ship needed twice as many, but with all the confusion on board, a number of the lifeboats were not even full when they left the ship. Many third-class passengers did not have a chance to get into any of the lifeboats because they were on the low deck and didn't know where to go. Jack wrote in his notebook, need twice as many lifeboats. Hey, I know what we can do to help, said Annie. What? We can help someone find the right boat, she, she said. You're right, said Jack. With our book, we can find our way to a low deck. He turned the page to a map of the ship. He and Annie studied it. We will start at the grand stairway, said Jack. He traced a path with his finger. Then we will go down to the third class cabin this way. Good plan, said Annie. Then looked back, saw through the door. The radio operator was still tapping out his message over and over and over. SOS, SOS, whispered Jack. He took a deep breath. Okay, he said, let's go. Chapter 4. Put on your life belt. 구명조끼를 life belt라고 합니다. Jack and Annie slipped through a door of the boat deck. Teddy was at their heels. Wow, breathed Annie. Woof, woof, Teddy barked. They were at the top of the empty grand stairway. It was beautiful. It was made of dark, glossy wood. A huge dome with the light hung above it. At the top of the stair was a fancy clock. The hands of the clock We're at 20, 12 or 20, 12, 20, 12, 20, 12, 20, peep, 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 12, 20. Oh man, it's 20 minutes after midnight, said Jack. The ship's going down in 2 hours. They hurried down the carpeted step and into the first class hallway. Teddy followed along. They looked at the map in the book. These are the stateroom, he said. These are the stateroom, he said. This hall will take us to the third class of deck. Hey, look, said Annie. The floor's slanting down. Floors slanting down. Jack caught his breath. She was right. That means the front of the ship is already sinking. He said. Just then, a man in a white uniform came down the hall. He knocked on the door. Put on your life belt at once and come up to the boat deck. Come up to the boat deck. He called. Man and woman stumbled out of their room. They were elegant robes made of shiny cloth and velvet and velvet. What's going on? Oh, woman asked. There's been a little accident. The man in the uniform said cheerfully. Oh, how silly, said the woman. It's not silly, said Annie. Do what he says. Woof, 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 먹는 거지. Teddy barked as if he agreed with Annie. Shh, Teddy, said Jack. He picked up the little dog. Then he and Annie hurried down the hall. They crossed the third class of deck, where more people were standing. These people were not dressed in fancy clothes. They mostly were plain dark coat. They didn't seem worried either. They were all joking and laughing. Jack and Annie slipped through the crowd. They went into a big smoky room. Four men were playing cards. A woman played the piano. A young couple danced to the music. Put on your right belt and go up to the boat deck, Annie shouted. The people looked at Annie in surprise. The card player smiled at her. She opened her mouth to yell again, but Jack pulled her out the door. Come on, he said. We have to get down to the third class cabins before it's too late. He hurried down another hall. Then they climbed down another stairway. They carried Teddy the whole way. At the bottom of the stair, they rounded a corner and they both gasped. The floor was really slanting down here, and water slushy at the end of the hallway. The Titanic is sinking, said Zack. But no one understands, said Annie. I know, said Jack. It made him feel terrible, said Jack. Ted, Teddy winked. Jack buried his face in the little dog's paw. Come on, said Annie. She began banging. on the cabin door. The door swung open. The cabin were all empty. The people from this hallway must be the ones up near the near the Roundsy, said Jack. Maybe we should go down to a row deck. He started to walk back to the stair, but Harry began barking furiously. What's wrong with him? What's wrong with him? Said Jack. I don't know, said Annie. Suddenly the dog ripped out of Jack's arm. He charged down the hall. He was running straight toward the water. Watch out! Cried Jack. He and Annie ran after Teddy. The dog began barking at the closed door. The door opened. A very small boy peeked out. Chapter 5. William and Lucy. The boy wore a night shirt. He had red hair and freckle. He looked about 4 years old. He rubbed his eyes sleepily. Then he saw Teddy. Puppy! He said with a huge smile. He threw his arm around the little dog's neck. Teddy licked his face. Come back to bed, William. A voice called from inside the room. Come out! And shouted. It's an emergency! A moment later, the door opened wider. A girl in a long white nightgown peeked out. She had red hair and freckles too. She was tall and thin. She looked to be about 12 or 13 years old. Hello, she said. She put her arm around the little boy. I'm Lucy. Oh, Mallory. This is my brother William. I'm Annie, said Annie. And this is my brother Jack. Can you parent and tell them to come with us, said Jack. Lucy looked confused. Our parents aren't here. They are in New York, she said. We are on our way to them. Listen, the Titanic had hit an iceberg, said Annie. We will take you to a lifeboat. What do you mean? Said Lucy. The ship's sinking, said Annie. Look! She pointed to the water at the end of the hall. Oh no! Cried Lucy. Don't be afraid, said Jack. Just get your coat and your life belt. You don't have much time. Lucy nodded. Then she went back inside the room and came out with their things. Lucy put on her coat and her life belt. And helped William put his on. Let's go, said Jack. Wait, can Teddy fit in your knapsack? Said Annie. Try, said said Jack. Annie slipped the little dog into the little knapsack on Jack's back. Only Teddy's front paw and head stuck out. Stay there, honey, said Annie. She kissed Teddy on the nose. Jack didn't feel any extra weight in his knapsack. The little dog pecked as right as air. Wait, I forgot something, said Lucy. We don't have time, started, started Jack. But Lucy rushed back into the room. Hurry! Shouted Annie. When Lucy came out, Jack saw her slip something into her coat pocket. Then she grabbed William's hand. Ready? Ready? said Jack. Suddenly he felt frozen water brush against his shoe. He looked down. The green sea water was slowly moving down the hole. Off! Off! barked Teddy from Jack's pack. Run! cried Annie. Chapter 6. Woman and Children first. Annie led everyone down the hall to the stair away from the cold sea water. As she and Lucy helped William up the stair, Jack and Teddy followed. Halfway up the staircase, Teddy read out, "Yuff." Jack looked back. The water was creeping up the stairs step by step. Come on, Jack! And he shouted. Jack ran up the rest of the stair. He and Annie led William and Lucy through the smoky room. The men were still playing cards. To the right foot! And yelled at the card player. Right now! Hurry! The man smiled at her again. Let it go, one said with a laugh. Even if this ship does sink, it will take all right. There's plenty of time for everyone on board to be rescued. Indeed, many ships are on their way right now, another man said in a smoothing voice. There's nothing to worry about. Not true, said Annie. Lucy turned to Jack. This doesn't sound so bad after all, she said. It is bad. Please trust me, said Jack. We have to keep on going. We have to keep going. They went outside. The crowd on the third class dock had grown. Many were life belts, but no one here seemed very worried yet. Jack and Annie pulled Lucy and William along. They hurried through the crowd and down the first class hall. They came to the end and trooped up the grand staircase. On the top deck, the Titanic was as bright as a Christmas tree. A band played lively music with a hiss and rush of light. A rocket streaked into the sky. It made a loud boom. Then it burst into many colors balls, shivering in the cold. William laughed and clapped. Firework, he said. Lucy smiled at Jack and Annie. This is a trick, isn't it? She said. You brought us to a party. No, it isn't, said Jack. Don't you remember the water downstairs? Lucy smiled, patted. Women and children first, someone shouted. That's you, said Annie. Come on. She pulled Lucy and William toward the right boat. Chapter 7. The Gift. The right boat was waiting to go down. It looked tiny as it swung on cable at the side of the big ship. The water below looked black. Get in! Get in! A uniformed man shouted. No, no, said William. He hid, he hid his face against Lucy's coat. Lucy was shaking her head. I'd rather stay here, she said to Jack and Annie. Jack understood. The brightly lit Titanic seemed so solid and safe compared ri- to the little lifeboat. You can't stay here, said Annie. The Titanic is going to sink soon, very soon, said Jack. Lucy kept shaking her head. Jack saw tears in her eyes. Lucy, we are telling the truth, said Jack. You and William in the great danger. You have to be brave now, said Annie, for your brother's sake. Lucy straight hand up and tried to smile. All right, she said. I will. This way, a man called. Women and children, this way. You pull, he pointed at them. Get in, said Jack. He gently pushed Lucy and William toward. Goodbye, Lucy, said Annie. Goodbye, William. Lucy looked so surprised. You are not coming? He asked. No, we are going home another way, said Annie. Oh dear, said Lucy. I hope you will be safe. You will. We will. Don't worry, said Jack. Wait, said Lucy. She reached into her coat pocket and pulled out a silver watch chain on a chain. This is a gift for both of you, she said. It's our father's watch. He carried it on the voyage for Gunrock. I have a feeling that the two of you will our Gunrock tonight. Jack looked at the watch as Lucy put it around Annie's neck. Annie's neck. That time on the watch was 1:50. There were only 30 minutes left. Hurry, hurry, he said. Jack and Annie watched there as a big man picked Lucy up and swung her into the little boat. Then he picked William up and put him in Lucy's lap. Bye, cried Annie. He stepped toward to blow a kiss. Just then, the man picked Annie up. No, shouted Annie, into the lifeboat too. My dear, the man said, and he tossed Annie into the lifeboat. No, no, cried Jack. Then the man reached for him too. Jack jumped away just in time. Annie, he yelled, get out! And he tried to climb out of the lifeboat. Let me out! She cried. Woof! Woof! Harry barked from over Jack's shoulder. The lifeboat jerked. It started creaking down toward the dark, cold sea. Come back! Jack called, but there was nothing he could do as Annie disappeared from sight. Chapter 8. Every man for himself. Annie! Cried Jack. Let me out! He heard Annie shout. But the lifeboat kept going down. Wait for me! Came a loud voice. Wait for me! A woman in a fur coat appeared at the railing. She nearly threw herself over the side of the ship. Stop! The uniformed man called. Bring the boat back up. Pull ready, black whale. Slowly, the right boat was brought back up. Jack pushed his way forward. The right boat came even with the ship. Jack reached out to Annie. She grabbed his hand. He pulled her back onto the sinking ship. Room for one more, and shouted to Lady Blackwell. Then she and Jack took off before anyone could catch them. They ran up the slanting deck, and he stopped and peered over the railing. Jen looked too. They saw Lucy and William's little lifeboat creaking down toward the Atlantic Ocean. It reached the glassy black water. Then it floated off into the darkness. And he waved, "Bye, William! Bye, Lucy!" She shouted, "Thank you for your gift." She held up the watch that hung from her neck. Then she and Jack looked at it. It the time was 2:05. Only 15 minutes left, said Annie. "We have to get back to the treehouse now," said Jack. "Let's climb the stair to the track, smokestack." Suddenly, the front of the ship dipped down into the sea. Deck chair started to slide past Jack and Annie. The band played the slow calm song. It sounded like a churchy hymn. But the crowd started to panic. People pushed and shouted, trying to get to a safer part of the ship. "It's every man for himself!" the captain shouted to all of his crew. The men all stopped what they were doing and ran up the deck. Jack and Annie ran too. They dodged the sliding table and chair. They reached the stair that led to the smokestack. They grabbed the railing and pulled them slave up the step. The ship titled tilted. The ship tilted further. Get to those smokestack," said Jack. They slipped and crawled down the deck. But when they got to the smokestack, Jack and Annie looked around widely. The magic tree house was gone. "Where is it?" shouted Annie. The front of the Titanic sank deeper into the sea. Jack and Annie fell forward. They grabbed the railing and held on for their lives. "Maybe the treehouse fell into the ocean," shouted Jack. A great roar started coming from the ship. Jack imagined everything crashing forward. All the furniture, dishes, cycles, the grand clock on the staircase. He looked down. A giant wave of water rolled over a road deck. Jack imagined water flooding and south class corridor, the card room, and the grand staircase. He closed his eyes, waiting to be washed away. Off! Off! The barking came from a distance. Patty! Cried Annie. Jack had forgotten all about the little dog. Holding on to the trailing, he used one hand to pull off his knapsack. Terry wasn't there. There was more frantic barking. Where's Teddy? Cried Jack. He's calling us, shouted Annie. We can't look for him, shouted Jack. We will pour off the ship. Teddy barked and barked. He close by, said Annie. He held onto the railing and moved slowly down the steep deck. Annie! cried Jack. Suddenly, the light on the Titanic went out. The world was pitch dark. Jack couldn't see Annie at all. Annie! He shouted. He tried to move down the deck too, but the ship tilted, tilted again. Jack slipped and fell. He rolled until he crashed into a smokestack. Jack! Cried Annie. Here! Here! Teddy kept barking. The back of the Titanic was rising out of the ocean. The front of the ship was going down. Jack tried to go around the smokestack without falling. In the dark, he could barely see the treehouse. It was stuck between a smokestack and the railing. It was rain on its side. Annie and Teddy were looking out the window. Teddy's barking at me here, cried Annie. Hurry, Jack! Jack rolled around the smokestack. He held out his hand and he grabbed it. She pulled him into the treehouse. Teddy licked his face. I wish we could go home, shouted Annie, pointing at the Pennsylvania book. Jack heard a loud crack, crack. The wind started to blow. The treehouse started to spin. It spun faster and faster. Then everything was still, absolutely still. Chapter 10, A Touch of Music. Oh man, whispered Jack. He was lying on the floor of the treehouse. He was wearing his pajama and rain poncho again. You okay? Annie asked. Yeah, you? Said Jack. My heart beating really fast, said Annie. Mine too. He thought of the Titanic sinking into the cold Black Sea. His eyes filled with tears. It was terrible, he said, and he nodded. Jack could see tears on her cheek. Terry licked Jack's face. Hey, said Jack, how did you get out of my knapsack? Teddy wind. Jack and Annie stroked his pretty head and ears. I think he has a touch of magic, said Annie. Slowly, Jack sat up. He saved our lives, he said, And now we have the first gift to break the spell, right? To break the spell. He's under, said Annie. She turned on her flashlight. She shined it on the silver pocket, pocket pocket watch, silver pocket watch that hung from her neck. Lucy's gift, she said. The watch had stopped. The hands were at 2:20. Jack was silent. Then he sighed. This is exactly when the ship went down, he said, and he looked at him. I guess that's when time stopped for the Titanic. She said. Jack nodded, and he put the pocket watch on top of Morgan's note. A gift from a ship lost at sea, she said softly. They were both quiet. Then Jack took off his glasses and wiped the tears from his eyes, and he stood up. She took a deep breath. I'm ready to go, she said. Let's put Teddy in your pocket and take him home with us. She shined her flashlight around the treehouse. Teddy, she said. There was no sign of the little dog. He's not here, said Annie. What are you talking about? Said Jack. We are just petting him. He's up to his magic trick again, said Annie. She sighed. We will have to go home without him. But what happened to him? As said Jack. I don't know, said Annie. But I have a feeling we will see him again soon. She started down the rough ladder. Jack looked around the treehouse one last time. Teddy, Teddy, he said, but the treehouse was quiet. Jack put on his backpack and climbed down the rope ladder. Annie was waiting for him. Without a word, Jack took her hand. The rain had stopped, but water still dripped from the trees. Stars glittered overhead in a clear sky. Silently, Jack and Annie left the Frog Creek Wood. They walked up the dark street to their house and climbed the step to their porch. Before they went inside, they looked out against at the night. Time might have stopped for the Titanic, Jack said, but books and memorize keep the Titanic alive, don't they? It's a true story, but it's also like mice now. Yes, said Annie. Every time the story is told, we wish it had a different ending. Jack nodded. That was exactly how he felt. That was exactly how he felt. Staring at the starry sky, starry sky. He shuddered at the memory of the sinking ship. He knew that he and Annie were lucky. They had come home. Good night, Titanic, he said softly. Goodbye. Then he and Annie slipped quietly into their house, where it was cozy and dry and very safe. The end. 한 권 읽는데 1시간 정도 걸리네요. 예전에는 원 챕터 읽는데 보통 한 15분에서 20분 정도 걸렸거든요. 조금 빨라지긴 했는데 읽는 리듬이 여전해서 얘기하는 게 여전한 게 이제 동화책을 읽는 리듬으로 읽으면서 이게 무슨 뜻인지 생각하는 리듬이 있어서 그런 것 같아요. 그리고 이 정도 되는 책이 1시간 정도 되네요. 네. 그럼 여기까지